The heat has definitely arrived, and so in this update video, we're going to tell you everything that's been going on, and especially how we've been working around the heat to still get things accomplished. And we're going to do that right now. Hi, this is Todd from Sniping, Rhino, and it's time to do another update on everything that's been going on out here at the homestead, especially how we've been doing our workarounds because of the heat, because it has definitely come in force this month, and we're not even really to the hottest part of the year. But before I get into the video, if you're not a subscriber, make sure and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming homestead related videos. That being said, let's tell you what's been going on out here. So as always, we're going to start with homeschooling and gardening. Jessica normally does this part, but she's out working in the garden. So I'm in here in the cool weather and she's out there in hot weather. So hooray for me. On the homeschooling front, both Stefan and Michael finished up school for the year.
And now I'm done with school.
Stefan finished up the 9th grade and Michael finished up his sophomore year, so it's kind of weird. We have a junior and a sophomore ready to start in a month or so once the weather really gets hot. So yeah, that's on the homeschooling front, and they both did videos on what they think about the Abeka program that we do, which is accredited, and especially, you know, they both do a review of that from the student perspective. So we thought that was kind of interesting to get their perspective and not just ours of that curriculum. In the gardening front, you know, our Shed Wars gardening videos are coming out strong. We did 2 this year, and it's just that time of the year where it's getting really hot and you have to get out into the garden and get stuff done. And we're going to talk about how we work around the heat when we do that here in a little bit. So yeah, everything's going great in the garden. We started harvesting some produce, and so yeah, it's just hard work as always. So I guess animals is next, and I guess infrastructure. Well, we'll start with infrastructure because animals, we have some bad news on that. But on infrastructure, we got our front end loader fixed finally. So we have a tractor that's running that has a front end loader, and that has really been a help with working on the driveway. We did a couple videos starting in the beginning of this year on our driveway repair, and but what really hampered us was that front end loader not working. And we did a video on that. I won't get too much into everything we had to do to get that working again, but you can check that video out. But yeah, so driveway's been kind of the big thing on infrastructure that we've been working on. The next thing is animals, and this was a rough month for us. Not as bad as some months we've had, but we did have some predator attacks this year or this month that we really haven't had before. We end up losing 6 of our adult chickens and several of our new chickens that are still smaller. And unfortunately, we also lost Alpha to protect the chickens. So, you know, we haven't had Alpha that long, so it's not as bad as when we lost Jet. In very different situation, you know. We have pets. We you know, we had Alpha, we have the cats, and they are really, while they're pets, they're also purpose-driven animals. And being out here in the middle of nowhere, you've got to have a dog that protects your animals and you know, lets you know when people or animals are around. And you know, it really, it's not good when you lose your dog like that, but you know, hey, you know, if everything dies, and you know, if you're gonna die doing your job, well, that's not a bad way to go. You know, sort of dying with your boots on. And so I guess we'll be looking for a new dog to replace Alpha, but that was, you know, pretty tough. Especially, I don't know if you've ever lost an animal. The first few days after is pretty tough. You know, you go outside and it's not there. You come home and it's not there. And we found ourselves, like, it would always lay on our step. And so when we go to open the door, you know, you kind of pause because it'd have to wake up and move so you didn't push it off. And so finding ourselves doing that was a little tough. But, you know, again, its job was to protect the chickens, and it died to protect the chickens. So not the worst way, I guess, in the world to go. So yeah, that's been on the animal front. I guess I probably should have already talked about this, but the heat. Man, the heat came in force this month. I mean, it's just oppressive with the humidity and the high heat. It's just really tough to get things done, especially in the garden. And so what we've been doing is we've been waking up really early, getting our chores done. And then so about 6 o'clock in the morning till 10 o'clock in the afternoon, or excuse me, 10 o'clock in the morning, we've been doing work out in the garden. And then once the heat gets up there in the 90s, we've been moving into the house and just doing stuff in there, or, you know, playing on our game station and stuff like that with the boys. I've probably played more PlayStation than I have in my life, but you know, the boys really like doing it, and I like doing stuff with the boys. And then when the heat drops down below 90s, usually probably about 6:30 in the afternoon, then we'll go back out, work in the garden, work on the driveway, work on the lawn, whatever, and do everything else until it gets dark. And so that is probably going to be the norm, our schedule for the rest of this summer. Normally it's not quite this hot in June, but like I said, the heat has just been crazy this month. I think we got all the way up to the upper 90s. So yeah, definitely have to kind of work around just so you don't go down from dehydration. Right. On the YouTube front, you know, Will It Grow and Ernie Hatmaker are our two shout outs this month. As always, you know, they're great channels. And because of Shed Wars and just because Ernie's awesome, they interact with our channel quite a bit. You know, for for anybody who's watching us for the first time, you know, our shout outs at the end of the month, we really do that to anybody who interacts with us the most. So if you're a new channel, you know, hit us up in the comment sections, interact with us, and you know, we'll do a shout out for you. But yeah, we just went over 1,800 subscribers, which again, maybe isn't a big amount, but it is for us. And so we're pretty excited about that, and you know, just seeing what's going on. So that's pretty much it for our month and this update. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a comment, hit the like button, tell us what's been going on out at your place or with you this month. And as always, if you're not a subscriber, make sure and hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming homestead related videos. This is Todd from Sniping, Rhino saying, have a great day.